Hello, my name is Michael. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my show. Thanks for tuning in. Today's recipe is going to consist of eggplant. Eggplant will be the star of today's show. This little baby one right here. And we're going to cook one of them, and I'm going to be making eggplant parm on the stovetop. I'm going to be pairing that with some things that you normally don't eat eggplant with. Today is going to be organic ground beef. Not your regular ground beef, but organic ground beef. The difference, raised without antibiotics and no added growth hormones. So this is like 3 times the price, but it's worth it. We're also going to be using fresh garlic, Parmesan Reggiano cheese, Roma tomatoes, and I also have my spices already here that I've already set up. I have oregano, basil, thyme, red pepper flakes, and I have about a teaspoon of each to make a nice little rub for my eggplant when I slice it up. So we're going to start prepping some of these things right now, and then after that we're going to take it over to the stove. So let's start with my eggplant. There's a little trick that I do with my eggplant so we can actually cook it on the stove. All right, so I like to slice them thin, just like that, 1/4 inch. And then when I get close, I just turn it right over on the side. And that's all we really need. At that point, I like to finger them. That's right. I said it. I cut them into little fingers. Because when we cook this on the stove, traditionally eggplant is baked, or if it is cooked in the stove, it's dredged like in either egg or breadcrumb. But we're going to do a little bit different. Okay, so I got them all set up. I got them all fingered. Then all I do is I take it. I got my little bit of olive oil here. And I like to brush the top. Brush the top. And I set up for my rub. Just like that. I rub it in nice. I'm going to go ahead and do these. You want to really get it in there. So now when this starts to cook on the stove, the fact that they're cut open is going to allow them to cook fast. That's simple, just like that. My eggplant's ready for the stove. Got a piece of garlic right here. Gonna chop this up. Gonna use about a little bit more than a half. Small dicing. And now when I add this to my eggplant mix, I'm gonna do it at the end because I don't want it to burn. You know, lots of times when you see garlic in food, it's burnt, and it's really something that should either be left whole to add flavor, or if you're going to slice it up to eat it, you should add it late to any of your dishes so it doesn't burn. And that's enough garlic. I'm going to take this, put in that olive oil. Next up, our tomato. This is going to be used at the end. We're going to slice it up right now. This way it's going to be nice. Look at that. Nice, juicy, flying out of it. You want your tomato to be room temperature. And that's how we want this. All right, so in a couple of minutes, I got this all set up for us. We got the eggplant, got the olive oil, we got the spices right here. Got the tomato, we got our fresh garlic, we got our spice mix right here. At the end, we're gonna put our Parmesan Reggiano cheese on top. So right now, we're gonna go over to the stove and get rocking and rolling. So we're back over here at the stove. I got my eggplant all set to go on. I have my organic ground beef all set. We're going to get it unwrapped. We're going to put this on the stove. The one thing I always notice about this ground beef here, it's 85% lean, so it's only 15% fat. But the thing I always notice is the smell. It smells delicious. It's like a nice earthy smell. You can tell that it's different from your normal ground beef. So let's get that going. This is about a quarter pound. Maybe a little bit more. Get that going. And we're going to get our eggplant going. Pot's nice and hot. I'm going to layer these in here. Now, I know you're looking at this and you're like, how come I never thought about cutting eggplant like that? Well, that's why you watch the show, for different ideas, different tips, different techniques. So I have my pan sprayed. Now I'm gonna hit this today with some avocado oil. The reason is I want this pan to be really hot, and avocado oil is good to 500 degrees before it breaks down. All right, so this is nice and hot. I got my flame going. Let's cover that up. Look how quick that ground beef cooked. Organic. All right. There's the eggplant. Gonna turn it over once. Starting to crisp up. I always like that end piece because you're eating the skin and all. So get a nice close-up of that. Keep that over there. Come back. Thank you. And I'm going to drop in some of my garlic. The smell coming out of this is nuts. And I got some leftover spices. I'm just going to drop that right on top. Nice fresh spices. So you get the picture here, what's happening here. Eggplant, fresh spices, garlic, avocado oil, ground beef, which is done. Let this smoke up. Ground beef goes off. And it's going to drain it. Even though it's only 15% fat, I like to drain it. And again, this is only about a quarter pound, a little bit more of the beef. That's set up. Okay, we're gonna give that another 30 seconds. So while that's going, let me give you a little tip on hydration. We got the summer months coming, and it's really important to stay hydrated. Water is your best friend. There's a lot of different conspiracy theories of how much water you should be drinking, okay? The answer to that is that everybody's different. Everyone's individuality determines that. Someone who's working out, perspiring, obviously should drink more water. The general rule of thumb is that if you're waiting to drink water when you're thirsty, then some type of dehydration has already taken place. So There's all types of apps out there where every hour it goes off and it tells you to drink water. Whatever you need to do to remind yourself, but it's important to stay hydrated. And it's also just important not to overhydrate, okay? Because you don't want to break up the blood's constitution that's already in there to make it weak, okay? You want to keep yourself nice and healthy by drinking water, by drinking the right amount of water, and doing it often, okay? Our eggplant is done. I'm going to turn the skin over because that's going to be a focal point. All right, got the eggplant, ground beef. We're going to go back over to the island. We're going to put everything together, and I'll catch you over there in a second. Okay, so we're back here for our setup and our final plating. I have my eggplant arranged nicely, and I have my cheese all set to grate on top. And I have my tomato that I'm going to add on top. This is a fantastic meal to have. I mean, what other way do you get a chance to eat eggplant on the stove with that type of cheese, with the organic ground beef, with the fresh Roma tomato? I went ahead and paired it with the Shiraz 2009 from Portugal. Let me tell you something. If you're not cooking at home, you're doing yourself a disservice. I'm bringing these recipes so you guys can understand how easy and simple it is. Absolutely outstanding. I wish you were all here enjoying this with me. And take a sip of the wine. Let me thank you again for tuning in. You can reach me at mjfitnessfreak@gmail.com for personal training tips and advice, and also mjmassagesyou@gmail.com for massage therapy. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the recipe, and I'll see you all next week.